我们最后把这个英雄联盟的改版更新看一看，这是 S16 的玩法预览，直接看影片好了。OK， 召唤峡谷改动。
Hey everyone, I'm Riot Endstep.
And I'm Frank.
G2 了，老
And
哥。
we're here to talk to you about the Summoner's Rift gameplay changes coming in January.
Over the last few years, League has been largely about team fighting over neutral objectives, fighting around grubs, dragons, or that vision ward you just placed around grubs or dragons.
And while we know 5v5s make for some of the highest highs, we want to swing back towards a state where more strategies like splitting or sieging are more viable.
So we're making some changes to major neutral objectives, towers, and minions in order to do just that.
Additionally, we're making adjustments to roles so everyone has an appropriate impact on the outcome of each game, because right now, some lanes are much better at turning a winning lane into a winning game.
We also have some delightful improvements, so let's get started.
The first thing you'll notice in January is that the game starts faster. We want to reduce downtime after you load in, so minions and basic jungle camps first spawn 35 seconds earlier than they do
35秒
today.
1分钟开始吗？
You'll still be able to pull off early invades, but you'll have to be much more
这样子
decisive
一等
when
入
you
侵
load
更
in.
难了啊。
We're also making some changes to
然后
Veil.
一开
It's
始
an
会
incredibly
去
powerful
抽
tool
烟
in
啊，
League,
上
but
厕
right now
所的人也
feels
是
monopolized by
被
supports
nerf
and
了。
sometimes by junglers. We want to make effectively warding the map easier to learn for everyone, and give more opportunities and power towards drops by pushing champions, especially mid and top laners who are side laning later in the game.
So, we're adding Phaelites, locations that grant temporary bonus vision to wards with unique bonus vision areas for each spot. Some Phaelite rings will be available at the beginning of each game, while others reveal themselves when the Elemental Rift transforms, particularly those that would otherwise disrupt early game jungle.
Okay, so on to the objectives. Otacon was one of the biggest additions to the Rift this year, and was a pretty cool, unique objective to fight over. That said, he contributed to objective fatigue, which many of you cited as an issue, and we agree. We wanted to alleviate this over time. We had removed the second form of Otacon, we removed the second set of grubs, but it really wasn't enough. So, just like Zehen did, we are cutting Otacon out of the game. That includes Blood Roses and the petals with them.
亚塔坎的出来一季就没
That's
了
it.。Let us know what you think about limited time gameplay changes and if there's something you'd like to see more of.
But back to Otacon, his removal also means that Baron will go back to his old 20-minute spawn time. Welcome back, King.
Additionally, we're making all epic monsters more durable, especially late game dragons as you get closer to Dragon Soul. That should make it so that it's easier for teams on the back foot to contest dragons and other epic monsters or trade something meaningful on the other side of the map.
Finally, we're also removing feats of strength from the game. We like that we push teams to
移除武力
progress the
壮举
game and provided goals to rally around, but we think we can create better gameplay systems that allow for players to have more individual agency over their games. With feats getting the boot, we're adding back some gold rewards for first blood
哎，
and first
手打
blood.
回来。
Another way we're looking to
我
improve
赞成啊。
sieging is with a new mechanic called Crystalline Overgrowth, which is kind of like a universal
武力壮举
demolish
真
effect.
没什么用。
Crystals will build up on towers over several minutes, and when hit, they're consumed to deal an extra burst of damage based on how much buildup has accumulated. This should help
分推
enable
角
pushing windows in
应
more
该比较
situations,
有
even
用。
if you're behind or don't have the highest DPS. Demolish will be sticking around, but will be simplified to a good old 3-hit passive.
We love 3-hit passives.
Yes, we do.
Turret plates will now stay
Right,
on
it's a
outer
很喜欢
ports
3点
permanently
起
and will be added to the inner and inhibitor towers as well. We're doing this to create long-term piecemeal rewards for pushing. No matter what state the turret's in, you're likely to mine some gold by taking aggressive actions. We're not adding more gold to the map with these changes. Instead, we're going to be basically spreading out the current gold for killing a tower and splitting it across the plates.
To further facilitate pushing, we're ramping up minion respawn rates in the late game to give more frequent access to sieging turrets. We're also adjusting late game home guards to
小
simply
兵
take
后
you
期
to
会变
your
多
most
快啊？
pushed minion wave in each lane.
And finally, Nexus turrets will respawn with partial health missing. We like that the respawn allows a team to hold their base for a while and not have to worry about getting backdoored by a Twitch, but with a full health respawn, it meant that it was honestly incorrect for a sieging team to finish killing the turret sometimes.
Now, for our biggest change for next year, role quests.
When you load into the game in January, top, bot, and mid lane will now have their own quests that
我
reward
有
unique
任务
power,
系统。
similar to the jungle pet evolutions and the support item upgrades.
You'll progress these new quests by killing minions, champions, plates, towers, or epic objectives. All the things you'd normally be doing in a game. You'll progress even faster by doing those in your assigned lane.
Your quest is decided by which role you've been assigned in the lobby. So if you and a friend or a stranger want to change roles, make sure you do an official trade in champ select.
One of our goals with these role quests is to buff top and bot carry relative to the other roles, as they're currently the two weakest, and as a result, the quest rewards are going to be comparatively stronger for them. Now, let's get into the rewards, which will be granted in a new role quest slot.
Ooh. Historically, top laners haven't always felt like they have the agency over the games that they deserved, even if they won their lane, and that's something we would like to change this season. Upon quest completion, top laners will receive summoner teleport for free on top of the 2 summoners they already chose. Now, if you had taken teleport in pregame, instead that spell gets a lot stronger, giving a very, very large shield when you use it. In addition to getting a functionally free summoner spell, top laners will also get a bunch of bonus XP up front, more XP from future sources, and an increased
Now, to mid lane. A huge variety of champions can be played there, so we wanted this reward to be good whether you're mage, assassin, or both like Malphite mid. And upon completing the quest, mid laners will receive a free tier 3 boot upgrade like the ones you could buy with feats, as well as a faster recall.
Rounding it out for new quests in bot lane, we're going to lean even harder into the carry part of the role. So while top laners are getting bonus XP, bot laners are getting a whole bunch of extra gold. When completing their quest, they get a lump sum of gold, increased gold for minion kills, champ kills, and champion assists for the rest of the game. And you might be asking, well then what do I do with all this gold if I hit item cap? Don't worry, the item cap is going up. Your 7th item slot will hold your boots permanently, allowing you to get 6 full legendary items for extra hard late game scaling.
Jungle and support already have quests and rewards, but we still wanted to take this opportunity to make some changes to them. Jungle is by far the strongest role in the game right now, especially when it comes to early map influence, so we're slightly lowering the speed of early game clears to give lane matchups a little bit more time to play out uninterrupted. We're also making it harder for non-junglers to steal objectives by increasing their resists and making Smite deal more damage.
Their role quest is still getting pet upgrades and PvP Smite like before, and they're now getting increased golden XP from large monsters when the quest is done, as well as bonus movement speed in the jungle.
Similar to jungle, we think support is already plenty powerful and has a very functional role quest, so we didn't want to directly increase their power. With that in mind, we wanted to give them quality of life oriented upgrades, so we're giving them a new slot exclusively for control wards, discounts on control wards, and a little bit more gold over time so they can keep pace a little better with the other roles.
Overall, we want these quests to represent meaningful power spikes in a way that leans into the unique strengths of each role. This also allows us to delete the lane swap detective mechanic that we added last year to combat pro lane swapping. We'll be keeping a close eye on how quests land, so please let us know your thoughts next year.
But role quests aren't all we have planned to make your champions feel more satisfying. We're going to bring back a few items to the Rift for each class, so give them some shiny new toys, including bringing back a few familiar favorites like Hextech Gunblade.
For example, we're adding the new Scepter of Bonking for AP fighters, which will empower your Spellblade Bonk to double your on-hit effects.
That's not the final name,
AP 斗士的闪耀剑装备吗?
No, we're probably going to give it something in canon.
I do love bonking. Well, anyway, given none of these names are final, if you're an AD fighter without a good way to get Omnivamp,
AD 版3项
which will give you some
AP
and
版
also
3项
ability haste scaling with your AD.
Or if you play
AP 的就只能买那个
you can pick up Snowball for extra range on takedown, plus damage amp based on how far away you are from your opponents.
We took a hard look at which subclasses didn't feel like they were getting enough support from the current item system and worked to fill those spaces. So we're hoping many champions have at least one of the 9 new items that they can get excited about.
Speaking of which, we're also adding crit damage back 200%.
All right. We know that was a lot to cover. We're excited to hear what you think of all these changes as the new season kicks off.
And in case you're looking for even more details or insights on these changes, make sure to check out the dev blog that's live right now.
That's it from us on the Summoners Rift team, and so we'll throw it back to Pablo and Medler, and we'll see you on the Rift.
Okay,
let's talk about ranked. This year we've been making improvements to shorten queue times and make your matches more fair through improvements to inting and griefing detection. And, more recently, we ran a test in late September that reduced queue times by 40% at all ranks, in ranked, and EU.
哇，48很多啊。
We want to double down on that work and make 2026 the best time yet to climb.
So next year, we'll be also tackling 2 common frustrations, mismatched teams and long queues. Something we want to address is visual rank disparity in lobbies as well. When players start their climbs late after a reset, you may see a bronze player in an otherwise gold game, which can feel particularly unfair. When in reality, that player was gold last season, but they haven't gotten back to that rank yet because they've had less time to play. So we're adding a climb indicator to loading screens when a player's MMR is higher than their visible rank. This will let other players know that you're climbing quickly and your displayed rank hasn't caught up yet.
We're also making changes to how flex and solo duo MMR are calculated. A common pain point is someone who is silver in flex and, say, diamond in solo duo, just stomping a bunch of games, when in reality they're truly diamond in both ladders. So this season, if your solo duo MMR is
其实理论上弹性
MMR,
积分的
the
实
system
力
should bring your flex rank a
会
lot closer
高
to
于
your solo
就是那
duo
个
one.
弹性积分的排
And
位
that
会
should
高
mean
于
flex
单双。
matchups will feel a fair bit
举
more
例好了，
balanced.
有人弹性可能精英吧，
Next,
然后
we're
单
making
双大概
changes
就
to
大
autofill.
师。
The reality of League is that certain roles are substantially more popular than others, and having an autofill jungler versus a jungle main can feel like an auto loss. This means that quite often people either dodge to
跳位
avoid it or hold your lobby hostage in order to get you to
勒索
dodge. When
不换
nobody likes
就
Q
搞
times, this is an awful experience.
So we have a number of changes to make autofill fairer, and to reward you for sticking with the role you're assigned when you do get autofilled. First, if someone on your team is autofilled, the system will try to match autofilled players by role. So an autofilled jungler versus another autofilled jungler, for example. If it can't match by roles, it will then of course fall back and try to ensure the same number of autofilled players on each team. We do know though that even with that balance, autofill games can still feel discouraging when you play your best in a role that you didn't choose.
最主要
That's
是
why
不
we're
想
adding a
选
new
那种自己
system
不
called
会
Aegis
的。
or Valor. If you're autofilled and earn a mastery score of C or greater, the Aegis will trigger. You won't lose any LP
专
on a
精
loss,
C 以上。
or you'll earn double LP for a win.
So for those of you who main less popular roles, and
就是不要
therefore
搞的
seldom
话，
get
你就不会被
autofilled,
扣
first
分
of
呐
all,。
而且
thanks.
赢的话可
We
以
haven't
加
forgotten
双
about
倍
you.。You'll still occasionally receive the Aegis benefit at about the same rate as other players because we want to reward the role heroes who keep the queue healthy and moving. Finally, we know how frustrating it is to be constantly returned to the queue because you get enchained dodges lobby after lobby. So we've made a few updates.
First, after a positive response to our pilot test, we're removing the ability to ban a hovered allied champion, taking away an opportunity for a teammate to tilt off the planet before the match even starts. And then second, dodging a lobby will no longer allow players to escape autofill. It'll just get
不能
carried
跳
over
房。
to the next lobby. We think that the Aegis of Valor should provide a solid reward for sticking around and trying. So, I mean, come on, it's double LP for a win, after all. And at Master
哎，
above,
但理论上大家
dodging
就是
autofill will
比较
count
痛的
as a
两个
full
点啦。
loss.
第一个点
We
是
know that this is a
不想
pretty
浪
big
费
change
时
from
间，
how
第
we
二个
dealt
时
with
间
dodging
点
in the
是
past.
不
And
想
we
玩自
believe
己不
that
擅
this will
长
lead
的
to higher，
大家不
quality
想学
and
习
faster
啊。
games. Speaking of speeding things up, we're also
而且
speeding
重
up
点
cancel
是
by cutting
虽然
down
说
on
不扣分，
timers
它会
and
被虐
animations,
嘛。
which should save about half a minute.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, no, I did it.
And if that wasn't enough, we've got one last ranked change. We're adding back duo queue to higher ranks, including Challenger, in most
哦，
regions.
精英可以双排
For。so many people, League
然后
is
大
better
部
with
分地区
friends.
可能是韩
And
服
in
没
the
有
past,
装
we。disabled duoing at
韩服
Apex
精
tier
英都
ranks
不能
because
双
it
排
so often led to rank manipulation. But because of the improvements we mentioned earlier, as well as the ongoing work on boosting and ranked manipulation detection, we're confident that we can bring back high MMR duoing without it being so abused.
So, call up your friends. It's duo time.
Switching gears, let's talk about Swift Play. Swift Play is pretty popular, and we think there's a
超
lot
速
of
终
room
点就
for
是
further
普通的
improvement.
NG，
And we want Swift Play to be that place where you can get in a quick game, where you
而且它
and
很
also
多
friends
那个
can
物
practice
件
new
都是往
champions,
前
or where
推
new
的。
players can come and learn and get their footing on the Rift.
That means Swift Play should still be somewhat competitive while providing quicker queues, faster games, and serving both new and existing players. So, we're rolling out some changes that should address the overall pacing, touching objectives, laning, and the jungle.
To start with, we're bringing over a lot of the changes to Summoner's Rift generally that were talked about earlier in this video, except for role quests. Now, for Swift Play specific changes though, the first thing we're tackling is game pacing. Swift Play games are actually a bit long, and the general consensus is there isn't quite enough action. So things like long death timers, focusing on CSing and lane, and objective overload all take away from the promise of Swift Play. So we want to get you to the action faster and more often.
Now, while some of the Season 1 changes will help address this, you'll also start Swift Play at level 3 with some extra gold similar
NG
to
从
Apex.
3等开
We're
始
also，
那也不
lowering
用
death
弹线
timers
了。
across the entire game, so you're getting back into the action quicker. And in order to keep the game from stalling out, we look for ways for you to capitalize on the shorter death windows. So we're increasing the minion spawn frequency, putting cannon minions in every wave after the third, and introducing a new mechanic that we're calling Minion Frenzy.
If you kill an enemy champion near your minions, they'll be inspired by your actions. They'll get enraged and attack faster and deal more damage. We're also going to be making some adjustments to tower durability and making sudden deaths
还
start
蛮
a
有
little bit
趣的
earlier. And thus, Swift. Outside of pacing, we also want to decrease objective overload. While the removal of Artican helps, we're also going to be removing the grubs
啊，
and
幼
rift
虫也掰了。
Baron and
没有啦
Elder Dragon
他
will
说超
also
出
be
终点
spawning
啦
earlier, with Elder spawning at 15 minutes, regardless of whether the Dragon
远
Soul
古
has
巨
been
龙
slain.
15
The
分
game-ending power of these buffs being accessible much sooner should help in closing games a bit faster than what we're currently seeing.
And with Elder Dragon moving up, the Elemental Rift will
你原本
transform
超出
after
终
one
点，
day,
因为
and
龙
you
魂
get
只
the
有
soul
3个嘛，
after two.
所以你原本
Finally, rounding
是
out these
25 分钟后
changes,
才有可能会有巨龙啊。
Now, currently, if you're not a seasoned jungle main, it can actually be pretty overwhelming in Swift play. These broader pacing changes around neutral objectives should make it feel much more comfortable, and like you're not being swarmed with objectives all the time.
Now, we know this is a ton of information and changes, but the goal here is for Swift play to feel swifter without it being so dense that it's overwhelming. We have a dev blog coming out today that will cover all of these changes, plus a lot more detail behind the specifics, so if you want to learn more, go for it.
Hi everyone, I'm Dashi Jador, product lead, back again to chat about WASD.
哦，这边是聊
Tech lead for
WASD。
WASD. I'm right, call me KT.
OK， 好，看一下文字版的吧。30秒就出兵，然后野怪1分钟就出来啊。亚塔坎移除 ，OK， 然后巴龙回到20分，五帝壮举也取消。其实我觉得五帝壮举对我来说啦，在打积分里面，你根本不会太在意这个五帝壮举的问题，因为你根本无法控制啊，你没办法控制说其他路线怎么样啊。你说比赛的话，主要五帝壮举看什么？就看守塔，那个算是比较关键的点，其他的感觉也还好啊。这里就是恢复手杀跟守塔的钱，还不错啊。OK， 史诗野怪续战力提升15%，这样子打龙啊、打巴龙什么的，这个就会打比较久啊。打比较久就意味着一个问题，就是你可能会吃到比较多的这些野怪的伤害或底 buff， 你吃太多底 buff， 你就很难去打后面的团战。在比较前期尝试偷龙，就是速刷掉、rush 掉的话，你就会有比较多的问题你要去考量。史诗野怪的钱增益经验值降低，幼虫跟预示者的效果增强，视野的部分灵光，希望大家去眼下在灵光里面。这个结晶就刚刚有讲到了嘛，就是可以推塔，爆破符文会简化成连续3次命中塔，防御塔的护甲永久存在。哦，不会14分钟就消啦，所以一定能赚到钱，而且内塔跟水晶塔也都会有。就是2塔跟冰银塔，改善温泉加速，这个不错。所有防御塔受到近战的伤害增加20%，内塔不会慢慢增加防御力，然后提升小兵的重生速度，25秒重生一次，后期变20秒。看一下这些道具名称：魔宫斗士的闪耀剑，魔宫斗士例如谁？关。戴安娜，就原本魔宫的话，你只能拿巫妖之祸嘛，巫妖的话，你就不可能给关啊，或者是戴安娜拿。戴安娜还行啊，但关是基本上不可能。塞勒斯也不错哦，可以加倍命中效果，例如戴安娜可以跳过1次命中让被动生效，或者是关的 Q 多累积1层。全力徽章，获得大绝技能急速，然后还有攻速爆发，大绝普攻3次一定暴击。这东西不就是那个吗 ？AD 版的2亿吗？等于说什么？露西恩开大完之后，后面3下普攻一定暴击。后来血球增加一些韧性，全能吸血的道具，很适合斗士。刺客道具适合务工刺客，击杀对方。这件道具的争议会让下一次针对史诗级野怪或塔的普攻造成大量伤害。他是希望你杀完人之后去边线分推塔嘛？他就奖励说你刺客不是只有打团，而是你在边线杀完人之后呢，你有机会快速推塔。异魔宝典主动效果新道具，启动后会暂时强化，你会大量耗魔，但技能变得更强。这不就是一流吗？就例如我辛朵拉开下去之后呢，然后我的技能变更强吗？我一套把别人接死啊，有点像那个什么之前的明火之勇。血球适合 AD 的远程道具，根据你跟目标的距离以及击杀数来强化你的务工。感觉凯特琳这种距离很远的还不错。强化引擎灵气道具适合坦克辅助，在你缓速或硬控敌军时开启灵气一段时间。50斗篷适合坦克的救命装备，是在生命值低落时提供大量的持续治疗。治疗量随物防跟魔防来成长。就是你进去开完战之后嘛，然后你一滴血的时候开下去， 你就可以增加跑速跟韧性，然后直接往后拉。但感觉这个东西最后不会是给坦克玩的，感觉这个东西是不是给斗士也不错啊？就是有一些斗士打完一套之后呢，开下去先拉出来一套，就感觉不一定是坦克。就我坦克哪在乎要不要出场啊？很多坦克进去就出不来了，哪有差啊？救赎魔灵超级铃铛，全新的可升级女神之类装备，提供治愈跟护盾，辅助版的水滴啦。海克斯枪刀经典混伤道具哦，枪刀回来了哦，狂暴利刃回归误攻暴击率的攻速力哦，这两个东西大家都熟悉啊。主要是1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9个新道具啊。路线任务的话，这个任务大家都可以解啊，就是跟你现在打野跟辅助一样。比较关键就是上路可以获得一个免费的传送，是不是？获得免费冷却时间更长的传送，然后如果有传送会变得更强，有护盾啊。我觉得这个就应该不会影响一般人的选择。你原本会带 TP 的东西还是带 TP， 然后变成说 TP 更强嘛。然后如果你那些像是陆服的一些玩家啊，或者是有一些人打线打比较激进，就一样还是带点燃啊。可是呢，你会获得一个 TP， 等于说你原本带点燃的缺点就有点消除掉。你打线靠点燃，然后中后期靠传送这样，然后中路的话就是鞋子升级，就现在武力壮举那个，还有强化版的4秒回城。哦呦，这很有料。假设你任务完成可以获得比较多钱，那最后的话，你的鞋子会摆到那个任务道具栏，你就可以买第7件装备。好，然后打野基本不变，但他刚刚前面有说嘛，打野的这个刷野速度会降低。辅助的话呢，就是那个任务道具会多一个红眼的栏位，就是你有一个红眼道具。OK， 大致上是这样。那到时候再来玩看看啦。我觉得这次改动，我觉得都改得不错。今年的大改，我觉得挺好的，感觉都改在痛点上啊。明年的游戏节奏，应该说呢，我整体看下来会更偏向打线一点。然后打线呢，你前面就比较少有人会去干扰你的打线，因为打野要刷比较久。然后呢，你打线上有一些任务嘛，两边都有任务，所以两边前面应该都以发育为主啊。当然啦，你可以在发育的途中去做一些消耗嘛，那个都是还是可以做到的。只是说呢，因为你想要完成任务，所以你就会让打野偏刷，你不会太常call打野过来。然后前面呢，1等入侵的能力也降低了嘛，因为整体提升35秒。所以说你前期就变得更安稳啊，中后期的话，我觉得物件的争夺好像变得不是这么重要，更重要的是分推，因为你的塔不管怎么样都会有钱，你的2塔跟兵营塔都会有钱，然后呢也提升了一些分推相关的东西嘛，所以我觉得明年的重点就是第一，打线我觉得会是一个偏发育的节奏，打线结束之后呢，分推的角色可能会稍微有一点优势。然后分推的这个点位就中路或上路嘛，他们会起到游戏节奏的一个很关键的角色。打到大后期的话呢，就非常吃 AD 的发挥了，因为 AD 可以多一件装，其他路线不行。补充一下打线的部分好了，我觉得打线的部分明年就是要打架的话，应该只会出现在上路，因为上路明年好像看起来是可以带点燃起手，然后利用任务的一个奖励去拿到 TP 嘛。我等于说我可以不用自己带 TP 了。我这边是指 Solo Q 的部分哦，感觉比赛还是会以 TP 为主。感冒吗？还是过敏？感冒，重感冒，我这个鼻窦炎，前阵子啦，现在感冒已经好了，就剩鼻窦炎大致上是这样啦。剩下的就是我们12月应该会多玩一点 LOL， 或者是多玩一点战棋，然后还有玩一些别的游戏，像我刚刚在玩 FF14 嘛。